Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Unlucky Ones for our second season. I don't know why I had so much trouble remembering that.
It's long.
It's been a long time. For our second season, which we have titled The Unlucky Sons, about three regular folk drafted into World War I. It is played in the Savage Worlds Adventure Edition using the Weird War One. I do that every time. The Weird War One companion through Pinnacle Entertainment. I'm going to hand it to Peter, who is in a non-specific direction from me, to tell us a little bit about. They'll introduce their characters, and then we'll circle back to me.
Hey, I'm Peter, and you don't know what direction I am from Ryan.
But it's probably right.
Probably right. Maybe wrong. Well, as you know, I'm playing Eugene Winkler, and he just woke up from a coma, probably, or head concussion. So he might be a little messed up.
He missed out on the first battle.
He was in the war.
He was excited.
I'm getting my honorary medal.
Hi, I am Michael. I am in an omnidirectional location from Ryan.
Oh, man, stop floating around me, dude.
He's omnipotent.
Omni-Man?
I play Billy Radsmith, a street kid turned
paramedic.
paramedic. My fun fact about Billy today is very simply, everyone wants to know about the Chicago slop. Well, it wasn't actually Chicago slop. He was actually just making the best of a bad situation. What he used to have is actually just chicken noodle soup, because that was famous in the place of Chicago. If you're not from Chicago, you'll know. For anyone who's listening from Chicago, don't call me out on this.
Why do you
I
put...
really thought you looked it up.
Oh, I didn't.
I thought you looked up the most common
Do you think I
dish in
care
Chicago.
enough about Chicago to look it up?
Why do you put your sauce on top of the cheese?
I don't put my sauce on top of the cheese, Eugene.
You
I
use
put it
cornbread
in
for
my
crust.
mouth and then let it melt.
That's the Chicago slop.
Yeah, that's what they call deep dish pizza.
My name's Thomas. I play a character named Sammy Anderson, and Sammy really does not like cows.
Luckily, France,
just hates
known
cows.
for its population of cows.
Yeah, so the cattle is the next charge that's coming at you guys.
The Cattle Crusade.
Base boosted moves.
And that brings us back to me, your lovely DM. Hello. Yet again, my name is Ryan, and today's fun World War I fact, which is a weird thing to Google, is that the youngest recipient of the Victoria Cross, which is basically the equivalent of the Medal of Honor from another nation, if I'm not mistaken, was John Cornwell, and he was 16 years old. So he lied about his age to join the army, and then did something that earned him, I think, a Medal of Honor.
That's impressive.
And to correct myself from the first episode, they weren't called the Axis, the Germans, they were called the Central Powers.
Oh,
It was the
you got a better memory than I do.
it
man.
was the Germans, the Ottoman Empire, and the Austria-Hungary.
I didn't think they were called the Axis.
And they formed what was later called, because they're all in like this circular thing, the Central Finite
That's why it's
Where Rick Sanchez is the smartest man in the
Central
universe.
Powers.
I
We don't
And
quote
the
that.
Allies were
Cut
called the
this,
Triple
Michael.
Entente
I'm Prime Peter.
until
of the universe.
the USA came along.
Interesting. Well, there we go. The Triple Entente and the big circular boys.
So technically, it's no longer the Triple Entente once the US entered, because there's 4 of them.
I entered.
You entered the bunk very quickly.
I entered and fell asleep.
Right.
So I think without further ado, let's get back to the front lines where we have left you guys off. So we pick up where we left off, like the end of last episode. The battle has just ended. The American side was victorious, thanks in no small part to you guys.
I did a lot.
Eugene is the supreme leader of the empire. No. And as the battle has kind of come to a close, all the smoke is settled. I believe that Sammy and Private Hughes were ordered to go and start cleaning up. Eugene had just kind of woken up and walked out of the bunk. And a heavy rain sets in, maybe from all the gunpowder and smoke, maybe just because it's France in May. But the rain starts to set in as you all kind of go in different directions, taking orders from your superiors.
Eugene here, you said Private Hughes. You meant Private Radsmith, no?
No, it was Private Hughes that was ordered with Sammy to help build the trench.
Oh,
There's a lot
I thought I was helped to clean up.
You have a lot more nasal energy than mine does.
You're not committing hard enough.
trying hard enough.
All right, I'm good now.
So, yeah. Sammy and Eugene, now you got me fucked up.
I did my job.
Sammy and Hughes, you're going to go help rebuild the barrier wall that was destroyed, help replace the machine gun emplacements. Private Ratsmith, you actually are grabbed by a different guy who is he has a medic cross as well, and he goes, I think, come over here, we need your help. And so he's going to kind of grab you by the collar and pull you over. You can see that he is a corporal or a specialist. He's got a higher rank than you.
Oh, I see.
And he drags you over, and as he does, it's like a little repurposed bunk where they have laid out several cots, and they have injured soldiers kind of laying around. Some of them are on the table, on benches. They're just kind of thrown wherever is convenient. Mm-hmm. And he's like, just start helping anyone.
Yes.
So make a medicine roll for me.
I will find the first person, and I will help him as fast as I humanly can. That's a great start to this game. 4.
So 4?
4.
So 4 is a basic success. So you do a good job. You quickly run in, and you see that one is a bullet that's cut clean through his leg. Another one has a bit of shrapnel that has pierced his left eye, and you're trying to just kind of bandage it to keep him. He's going to lose the eye, but you're doing your best to maintain him. And then another is like sliced on the arm. There's shrapnel wounds, burns from the flamethrower that did fire briefly. You're doing your best to keep everyone alive. With the 4, you're doing a pretty good job. There's some more advanced injuries you're not really ready to deal with, like gangrene and stuff, but there are other medics there to help. And overall, you stabilize a lot of people. You feel as though your actions have helped these soldiers survive, where they may not have without your intervention. As we get over to Eugene, who has just emerged from the bunk, you see Sammy and Private Hughes like holding up some barricades of wood and trying to like nail him in as other soldiers are filling in the dirt that was just knocked out. So at the end of last episode, you were kind of ducking out to see if you could hide, mostly for coping reasons. Is that still your intention, or?
I would think Eugene. So Eugene gets up and he goes, this is a lot more real than that picture showed. And he grabs his leg. He's like, oh, hey guys, you out there?
So yeah, Sammy and Private Hughes, you hear that from behind you, and Hughes will kind of turn his head. Still, I'm not going to turn my head, but turn his head, holding the board up so that it can still be nailed into place.
Sammy's gonna be like, yeah?
Sammy, my leg, it's really fucked up.
Go to the docks, like right over there.
My leg, I can't walk.
Hi, I'm the dog.
Let me get this hammered in, and I'll come over there.
Thank you.
So you and Hughes are kind of nailing it together. And from behind you, the trench commander, who is the guy that is in charge of this section of the trench, goes, "Get a move on! Those headies won't stay down long!" And so I need you to make an athletics roll with Private Hughes.
Crit fail.
On the reroll or on the first roll?
Well, the first roll was cracked, so one was already 1, and then I re-rolled the one that was cracked, and it was also a 1 again.
So as you're trying to talk to Eugene and do this at the same time, you feel the board kind of slip as the board kind of flies open and just smacks you across the face and knocks you back into the trench water. So I'll roll damage for you. Or no, just take bumps and bruises. Take a level of fatigue. As you kind of fall back into the trench water, and the trench commander goes, "Get off your ass!" And Hughes will kind of pull you back up as he's helping you, back into shove the fortification. And then Eugene, so you're standing in the doorway.
Yeah, I'm limping.
So he goes, "What are you doing?"
Sir, my leg.
"What about it?"
What's the description of my leg look like?
So it's swollen. It's probably not externally noticeable because I assume you're wearing pants, but it's swollen. You can feel that it hurts to lean on. You could limp on it, but you can't put full weight on it at the moment.
Like broken kind of thing?
No, probably more sprained or fractured.
Okay. I was blown up by the initial wave. I think it's fractured.
Uh-huh. Are you dying?
Well, I can't lift anything, sir.
All right, son. Go on to the medic.
As I limp to the medic.
Yeah. So you go into the medical tent where you do see Billy just feverishly like wrapping one guy's leg, and like the second he's done, and he grabs like another private who's not a medic, he's like, "Hold here," and then he gets that private to hold that. He runs over to another guy who's got like an actual piece of metal jutting out of his head, and he's trying to like wrap and like keep it from bleeding out while they get a more advanced doctor down here to do something. And so you see Ratsmith really putting in the work to heal these people. And as you come in, there's no one who really directs you in any particular direction. I mean, a lot of wounded soldiers are being carried in and laid on stretchers and stuff, but they're bleeding.
Billy, you're still alive, thank God.
Ah, it's stuck in his head. Someone else, help me pull this.
I got you, man. Hold on.
Oh,
We're
okay.
pulling it
No,
out.
wait, no. I mean, hold it.
Oh, okay. I got it.
Okay. Now you hold 1 second.
Wait.
Eugene.
Billy, I think I shattered my leg a little bit. Kind of bow-legged.
Can I like immediately determine what's wrong with him?
You could determine that he's not bleeding.
All right.
I'm internally bleeding.
From a quick glance, he doesn't seem like he's bleeding, and he doesn't seem like he's dying.
Air Chief, you see those sticks over there? Please tie them to your leg and then just go. I got to deal with this guy whose head might bleed out in a minute.
Okay. I go to tie the
So I'll let
splints,
you.
I guess.
I told you not to move it.
No, I didn't. I'll let you make basically a support roll, Michael. So you can make your medicine skill roll, and every success you get will give him a bonus.
Excellent. How is one success?
So you'll get a +1 to your medicine roll.
Better than what I had done before.
Eugene.
So it's a -4. No. Wait.
No.
I want to Benny that.
Okay.
I'll try one more time.
I bet you won't.
I saw a book on this one time.
No.
Okay, not a crit fail, almost a crit fail. I'm just gonna let it.
Billy, I really need your help now.
I can't tie this.
So you do your best to splint the leg. Why don't you tell me about how you're feeling as a character? I mean, so this has got to be almost the complete opposite of what you expected.
God, what happened to that guy? His eyes all fucked up. I don't know. Wait.
I popped it out.
Billy, that was
It was infected.
That was internal dialogue, Billy. Billy, get out of my head.
Get out of my head!
You guys are just on the same wavelength.
Everything smells like blood and fire and ash and soot, and I just woke. I don't know what's going on.
So a guy comes over to you, goes, "Can you stand up?"
And I kind of get on my good leg and get
Okay,
up.
move. Bring him over here. And they kind of bring a guy to where you were just sitting and lay him down. And as you see, it seems like a bit of shrapnel kind of just caught his chin and rode up his face, just diagonally across it. His nose is like half ripped off.
Can I see his
Badass
bone,
scar.
or-
Yeah, you're gonna make a fear roll is what's gonna happen.
He's gonna have a badass scar.
You get a -2 as Billy walks over and goes, "Oh, he's dead."
No minus, but so it's just spirit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. No.
So you swallow whatever fear or anxiety you're feeling about that scenario, and you manage to steal your own resolve just enough to do something, not to help him, but just
I
to move.
go into my uniform. And look at the Napoleon statue. It's like, is it damaged or anything, or is it still in good condition?
Miraculously, it seems fine. Maybe a little dirty.
Kind of wipe the soot off. I'm like,
Yeah, so you kind of fold up the corner of your sleeve and you kind of wipe it down, and you see it's still got the paint is still intact. It doesn't seem like it was damaged.
I'm still pretty sure this is the cause of this, but maybe it saved my life too. And I put it back in.
So what's Billy's plan? Obviously, people are being ordered around. You get the vibe that if you just kind of limber around, people are going to eventually yell at you to do something. You don't have to, but if you want to try to actively hide, that's going to be its own thing.
So, what was my position in our platoon? Like, I know it's
Designation?
private, but your designation. What am I?
You
most
and
skilled
you
at?
and Sammy both are infantrymen.
Okay.
So you're generic infantry.
Generic, whatever.
If given if you were to just ask a higher up, what should I do? Because you don't have a specialty, it's going to be grunt labor.
So I'm not good with medical stuff. So I don't think I should probably be in here. Really doing a lot of good job at this.
Ah, fuck! I popped out the other eye.
Better than I would. Maybe I'll go help Sammy and them. I'll see what I can do there.
We need all the help we can get.
Bye, Billy.
So as you do see Billy kind of really leading as much as he can. I mean, he's not leading in the like, you do this, but he's really leading the pack, so to speak. He's really performing. He's doing very well. And there seems to be a level of admiration for that. So as you kind of move back down towards the trench, you can see Private O'Connell, who is the more quiet sniper guy, as he's kind of got the... there's some guys like affixing new boards to the trench. And there's people kind of rebuilding these boards onto the trench, kind of recreating that wall. And Private O'Connell is on top, and he's got a shovel, and he's just kind of dumping dirt back into where they kind of lost it from the mortar fire. And you can see that down the way as there's people starting to like pull rubble apart and drag these dead bodies out of like either different crevices or where there's collapsed in bunkers. They're pulling all these like corpses of men out.
Maybe I should help with these wounded in the body, so I'm gonna drag the bodies too. I tried my best to drag some bodies.
So yeah, you can make an athletics roll at a -2 just because of the injury. Or no, the injury you can just roll because it's reflected by your wound level.
But there's no wounds, right? Or there's wounds.
With your wound.
Yeah, it's 5.
Okay. So yeah, you hurt, but not wanting to look like not wanting to get yelled at, I imagine, right?
I don't want to get yelled at by him again.
Kind of anxious. You grab and start helping. You see there is a soldier running around just kind of grabbing tags off of dead soldiers. You see other guys just gathering the German corpses and kind of dragging them towards the end of the trench, out of the trench. And the American bodies are obviously being treated differently. You see some people kicking and spitting on the German bodies. You see some guys looting them. It's a pretty interesting sight. I assume you're trying to work mostly with your allies, trying to help.
Do what I
dead or
can
wounded
there.
allies.
While I'm doing all this, can I? So I was out for all the battles. So I don't know what's going on, but I guess Eugene's trying to pick up if you can hear what happened during when I was blacked out.
So you're trying to catch details?
Yeah, without asking anyone.
No,
per
yeah,
se.
you can make a notice because you're just kind of listening.
No.
So you try your best to listen in on passing conversation, but it doesn't make a lot of sense.
There's a lot going on.
In this section of the trench, I mean, there's a mix of ranks, but most of the grunt work are private or corporals, they're pretty low ranks, and so they're just as shaken up as you are. You hear some people dude, what the fuck is this? And then you hear another guy who's I gotta run, I gotta go home. And you hear that one or two unhinged dudes who was that was great. When do we do another one? Or we showed them, kind of generic.
I killed 3.
I had 4. I had 3.
I picked up their
Why is
dog
that
tags.
a bragging thing? I said 4. You should have gone first. And then
Kill confirmed.
they go back and forth. But for the most part, you can't really tell the specifics of what happened in the battle. Just that there was a battle, the Germans lost, and the Americans won. Some people are happy about it. Some people are upset because of the war part.
Well, I
And
saw.
you would remember the artillery strike also, so you know that happened.
I guess they rushed us when the artillery hit, and I fell into their table, and I grabbed my leg and
Some
panicked.
really good intuition.
Well, that's what I woke up to.
I mean, it's a fair assumption to make, but that would be a really solid intuition.
Sammy and Billy, all right. That's good. I'm just gonna get through this. Continue pulling bodies.
Okay, so as you guys are kind of all working, you'll work for several hours on different projects and doing different things. And eventually, night comes. It is dark. Even by lantern light, you're working. At this point, the rain has started to puddle up, so they have been bucketing out as much as they can to keep the trench foot from getting any worse. But in general, you've all worked a hard day's work, and you finally find yourselves exhausted. So Sammy and Eugene, you enter the bunk, and you see that most of Delta is here, including Eugene. You also see Corporal Reynolds, or not Corporal Reynolds, sorry. You see Private O'Connell, who is just kind of sitting off to the side with his rifle. And then as a couple seconds pass, you'll see Corporal Reynolds kind of slouch in, and he'll just kind of be drained. He's covered in mud and dirt, and he seems to have maybe even some blood still on him. And he just kind of walks plainly across the room, goes over to one of the cots, and just falls into it, full body weight, collapses into the cot, and then raises his head up from the pillow, and he's kind of this one's mine. And then he just lays his head back down into the pillow.
All right.
And then finally you just hear a as his shoes slosh off and fall onto the ground.
Sammy's gonna look around. He's okay. So he's gonna kind of look at. Oh, was it Eugene with me?
He's not with you, he's in the room.
I'm just gonna look around. I'm just gonna go sit on the bed. I'm gonna sit on the bed. I'm yep, this one's mine.
So as you look around, the room is a little more warm. The table's still broken, but lanterns
My table.
some lanterns have been lit. There's a fire. There's a small fire pit in the middle that is meant to keep you guys warm and as dry as is reasonable. That's lit. It's not nice, but it's more comfortable than the outside trench. And so yeah, you see all the different people. Private Hughes, who you've been working with, just goes, I'm going to go to bed.
I think we need to. We have no idea when they're gonna come at us next.
And he just kind of slouches over to a different cot and lays down. He's like, I guess this is mine. And he just falls to his left and kind of emotionlessly lays down.
So is it? And we're just kind of sitting down.
Yeah,
sleeping?
everyone's had a long day.
Before Sammy goes, he's gonna take his notebook he has out and just kind of start writing in it.
Okay. You'll see some time will pass, and then Billy will enter the room covered in blood, definitely covered in blood. Probably up to like the mid forearm, lower elbow.
Most of this is actually just steak. I was making dinner.
You should get that washed off. Can't that cause infection?
I'm very tired. Thank you. And then Billy's just going to sit down on the floor and be like, all right, taking a 5-minute nap.
I would lay on a bed. You don't.
Oh, there's a cot over there. Okay, I'm gonna get in my cot.
If you want to lay on the wet ground, go for it.
Okay. So you guys want to say or talk with any other members of Delta, or just is it everyone's dead?
I think we.
Sammy's just gonna
no
like.
talking
Sammy's
about
just after he's done writing, he's gonna close his book and be like, all right, I'm gonna sleep.
So as you guys are eating rations for the night, having water, taking a 5-minute nap, before you even fall asleep, you see Sergeant McAllister kind of enter the room suddenly. And he'll just kind of pop in quickly and like very formally straight up and go, "Captain in the," and then the captain's voice rings out and he goes, "Don't worry about all that. I'm looking for a Private Billy Radsmith."
And me, stand up.
And he looks at you and he goes, "Come with me."
Okay.
And then he turns and
Billy's in
exits the room.
trouble.
Nah.
You guys missed your opportunity. You could have went, ooh. That's too late now.
Shoots you in the
It's
head.
getting cut.
Edit it. Edit it.
Shoots you, straight up shoots you in the head.
Editing, Michael, leave it out.
Ooh, gets a shot to the head.
He
Execute.
plays a gunshot. Ooh, bang.
And
Now he's in trouble.
Winkler's dead.
Signing off.
So as you follow him out, he is not holding pace for you. He doesn't seem to give a shit that you're tired. He's moving quickly as he leads you through the trench. You can see a lot of people bucketing out water, mixing up concrete to replace some of the damaged buildings. Like, people are clearly going to work through the night. You guys just were on the day shift in a way.
Yeah.
You hear trucks pulling in, similar to you guys, of fresh recruits that are like, "We made it," and they're like, "What the fuck happened?" And they're like, "Grab a shovel, start doing shit."
I'll walk by one of them and be like, bombshells. That's what happened.
Whoa.
Like blonde.
Like,
blonde bomb.
Blonde bombs.
Blonde bombs.
Cut that out.
a lot of blonde bombshells fucked up our trench. It was pretty hot.
Oh, I am inbound.
So as you kind of pass through all these people, step over bodies, and kind of work your way through the trench, he leads you down and turns a corner to a small room. And when he enters the room, everyone kind of looks up inquisitively, and you see a room with various bookshelves and kind of several supplies like shovels and stuff hanging on the walls. It's a more organized room.
I'd been more concerned if there was an actual book.
And as he enters the room, all the sergeants that you can see from their rank on their shoulder look up at him, and he goes, "Give me the room." And they all kind of stand and leave the room. And as they file out, he gestures to one of the open seats, and he goes, "Have a seat."
Okay. Sit down.
And so he'll kind of circle around to the other sides as he's sitting across from you. And before he sits down, he'll grab one of the like metal tankard-looking things off the table, and he'll kind of like look into it and then just flash the water out, or flash whatever's in it onto the floor. And then he grabs a clear bottle from the table and like fills it with water. And he kind of takes a large sip and then just slides it to you.
My immediate response would have been, "So we got like anything wrong with the mouth area before I drink this?"
No, I'm fine.
All right, good.
He will sit across from you at this point, and he'll look at you very plain-faced, almost stern. And he'll go, "Son, care to explain your actions on the battlefield?"
Oh, what action? Which part? There's a lot of battle, and I don't know what you're referring to.
Whatever you think I'm referring to.
I don't throwing a fire packet or initiating throwing a fire packet into the enemy line.
Okay?
That was a way to hopefully stop them. That was what I understand that to be.
And he doesn't really respond. He just kind of keeps looking at you like he's expecting you to keep speaking.
So, yeah, I did defer it to someone else. I handed it to them because I thought he'd be more accurate than I, because I'm not a sportsy person. Even though I do keep myself a little fit, throwback. But and so I'll just keep rambling random things until he says
So
something.
as you kind of fumble your way through the conversation, kind of awkwardly because he's not engaging, he goes, "Okay," and then he pulls out a sheet of paper. He goes, our after-action report indicates that you spent the duration of the last battle leaping between injured soldiers.
That sounds about right, too.
And then, at the moment when the trench was almost fallen, you decided to take it upon yourself to move to a different section of the trench and improvise an explosive device, and then commanded another soldier of the same rank to throw it at the enemy line. Does that sound correct?
I didn't command him. I asked him to, but yeah.
And so he kind of narrows his eyes at you, and he goes, so that sounds correct.
Up to the part where I commanded him.
Did you tell him to do it?
Nope, I asked him to.
And then he kind of looks down at you, and he goes, why would you do that?
Like I said before, I'm pretty certain that he was more likely going to be able to throw it more accurately than I.
All of it, though.
Oh, like from the beginning of that?
Reports indicate that you never once fired your weapon.
Well, correct. I was helping the people that were being shot who could also be of assistance.
So I want you to explain your reasoning, what was going through your mind.
That if I help them, they can continue. If I help 3 people in the time that it takes me to fire a bullet, then we would have 3 more people. If we keep having people and they don't have people, we will win eventually.
And the bomb?
And
What was going through your head at that time?
when I realized when I was having trouble getting to some people due to the advancing, encroaching line of people, I made the decision to, okay, how do I stop a line of people? Well, fire was a good way. And they had a fire, I don't know, flamethrower that they had. And I was like, okay, well, we can use that as a way to stop them. That's what was in my head next.
And why didn't you throw it? Purely out of accuracy?
I believe that the other guy would have, been more accurate than I.
And so he kind of strokes his well-groomed mustache and like rubs his chin as he looks across from you, kind of inquisitively. And he doesn't really say anything for a good solid minute. What is in your head at the moment?
My head is, well, aside from being
Or
tired,
If you want to give us a quick, you could do an internal monologue.
my
like,
internal
of
monologue
racing
will
thoughts.
my internal monologue will be, God, I really want to sleep. Why is he bothering me? We won, didn't we? What is this about?
So there's no fear to it. You're just aggravated.
I'm aggravated at that, and I don't get to rest right now.
Okay. And he goes,
Because I guess let me qualify that a little bit more. Is that there's no fear because Billy believed what he was doing was right at every step of the way.
okay. So Billy's convicted. This is correct. Okay.
What he did is correct.
So he takes the tankard from your side of the table and takes a large sip. And as he sets it back down, he goes, to my understanding, your actions as a medic and your instinct to turn that flamethrower into a bomb were majorly influential on the battlefield and likely prevented your trench section from falling into enemy hands, especially with the loss of the machine guns.
Oh, man, machine. There's another way I could have done that. I'm sorry.
No, our machine guns were destroyed.
No, I was gonna say the scraps of machine gun would have been excellent for an improvised bomb. Anyway, go on.
He goes, I hope you realize that you'll save the lives of more men in the trench than is realistically understandable. And he kind of pauses for a moment and drinks some water.
Oh, did I?
Ryan's bringing a lot of emotion right now. He's crying.
He's also choking because I scared him.
Yeah. And he goes, as he kind of gives you a moment, he gets up and walks around the table, not to you, but over to a different shelf. And you see him reach up and grab something. And then he kind of walks over to your side of the table. And he goes, as such, after speaking with your commanding officer and the testimonials of several of the men that you personally saved, as well as the men who saw you in the trench, I'm hereby promoting you to the rank of corporal. And he reaches a hand out and rips your private rank identifier off your sleeve.
Hey.
And he hands you another one that has 2 stripes.
Hey. Well, thank you.
You showed good intuition, good instincts, and took it upon yourself to enact a plan that ultimately won the battle in its own way.
Well, thank you.
While the role of your brothers cannot be diminished in their sacrifice and service, you truly made a call that made a difference in the battle in a large way. So wear the extra stripe with pride. As such, you are a higher rank. You have chain of command. Do not abuse it. And I'd like to see you continue making good calls and moving down the path. You're a good soldier. and you're a better medic. He says, if you have any questions or anything,
No, I don't think I do.
dismissed.
Thank you, sir. And then I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna walk through the trenches, and then immediately the power will go to my head. No, I'm joking. I'll go back.
Billy, stop beating me.
So you guys see, well, while first he leaves, and Corporal Reynolds raises his head and goes, what do you think that's about?
I think it's about. Give me a second. I think it's about how he really didn't combat enough, honestly. Seems like, and how he wanted to avoid the fight as much as possible.
And Private O'Connell's like, yeah, I didn't even see him use his gun.
Me neither.
You didn't see crap.
Conserving bullets, guys. Come on.
But like, and like when the enemy got in our trench right before the end, he pulled me off the enemy to keep the enemy alive. I think it might be that he's trying to
I don't think he's in too much trouble, do you? Says Private Hughes.
I don't think he's gonna get. I don't think he's. Yes and no. I don't think too much. I think he's just gonna get a stern talking to, saying, "Listen."
He really saved me, and he kind of gestures to a bandage around.
Oh yeah,
his
no,
neck.
he's definitely saved some people. That's why I think it's gonna save him in the end. He didn't fire his weapon. He didn't take part in stopping, but he also took part in healing and stopping people from dying. So I think it's a mix.
Maybe he's gonna be on the medic squad.
Corporal Reynolds raises his head, he has kind of sat up at this point. He goes, I've never seen anyone get in trouble for helping people.
I never did either.
I've seen him get in trouble for deserting.
I think that's that, and it might be also because he kept jumping trenches.
He did get out of position. I guess that makes sense.
I think it's a lot of
So
things.
did I.
I think it's like I think it comes down to because I wasn't really focused on what he was doing, but like from what I can tell when I kept looking, I think it was from him jumping around so much and not firing his weapon as much. I think it's more. I don't think he's getting in trouble. I think it's a stern talking like, "Listen, you're gonna die if you don't do this."
Okay.
I think maybe I could be wrong.
Your thoughts, Eugene? I mean, limited, but
I think it might have to do something with how I heard saved a bunch of people, for sure. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna punish him for helping people.
makes sense. And then as you guys kind of wrap up this conversation, you see Billy, how are you standing? Don't tell me anything about what you say or anything. Just how is your demeanor as you enter the door?
I was confident as all hell.
So
Do
he
you have the patch on?
I do.
Okay.
Don't you have
he
soda on?
poaches through the yeah. So you absolutely don't. You have to sew it on.
It's like sticking to it. I took slop and I
He
stuck it
poaches
to
through
me.
the door, chest held high but noticeably missing any rank. And so
I've been disavowed.
he's been demoted.
yeah,
Can't be demoted.
Reynolds goes, "Did you get discharged?"
No, I got promoted.
Oh damn!
What?
Yeah, I got promoted.
Reynolds like hops out of his bed suddenly.
All right,
comes
close.
over to you.
A little too close. All right, hi, how's it
He
going?
goes, "Let me see your rank."
Showed the empty patch.
Until he goes, "You son of a bitch!" And so he walks over and sits on his bed. He said, "It took me like months."
Did you make an improvised explosive?
No, granted.
Okay.
I am our explosives expert.
Wait,
though.
you made an improvised
Oh, are you?
explosive?
I should talk to you more often about
Yeah.
the logistics
Wait,
of this.
wait, hold on. You made an improvised explosive?
Well, oh yeah, I'll tell you when you're older.
Sammy thought you were getting in trouble.
I thought you were getting
We
in
all
trouble.
did.
Because
I didn't.
I mean, to be fair, I really couldn't see what you were doing. I just kept when I glanced back to see if you guys are still alive. I saw you running around.
Well, I mean, I feel like I was helppful.
You were.
But yeah, I mean, that's what I was
Sir?
doing.
I guess I have to call you sir now.
Nah, don't worry about it.
I wasn't going to.
Is that disrespectful?
So you
to him?
have to.
Yeah, I just Eugene, you and I get that tin cup. Sammy, go to bed. That's an order.
I was planning on it.
The door kind of, there's no door. It's really just an entryway. So McAllister pokes his head in, and he goes, "How we doing?"
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
My leg still hurts.
Oh, I can actually probably look at that now.
So it's definitely been more than an hour.
And
I'm gonna. I think Sammy's just gonna go to
So
sleep.
there's no further treatment you can do at this moment. What you would want to do is when he goes to make a natural healing roll, you would support him with your medicine. He's not doing that right now, though. So
Well, I'm taking a good look at this leg, and it looks like you're fucked. I can't really help you right now. That being said, come back to me when you hurt yourself again.
I liked it better when you were in my rank. You were a lot more enthusiastic.
So yeah,
I'm enthusiastic about your injury.
I'm just gonna.
Sergeant McAllister's gonna kind of look around the room and go, "How do we feel? Glad to
Tired.
see we made it without any
Just
casualties."
Tired.
I want a baguette.
I still have something in mind.
Don't tell him.
Looks moldy, son.
It's bloody.
Ew.
He used that as bandage.
That would
one time.
explain why my stomach hurts.
Well, man,
I got a ringing in my ear. It won't go away.
Tinnitus.
those of you who fought, sir, fought well. You did well to hold yourselves. The training paid off. I mean, I didn't personally observe the whole time because I was also fighting, but you guys held well. And from what I understand, you were in a particularly difficult part of the trench. And Corporal Radsmith, to my report that I filled out and the recommendation that I gave you, my understanding is that your actions majorly influenced the outcome. So
Well, thank you. I didn't know you recommended me. I appreciate it.
whenever there's a promotion, if they're trying, because the captain's above my head by a couple of steps, and usually if they want more information about a battlefield promotion, they'll ask the CO.
Oh.
So I just told them about your personality, and then other soldiers spoke to your actions.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. You're a true friend. I wish I could call you Allie.
You can't.
I had to reach your rank for that to unlock.
So he says, if there's nothing else,
I didn't break that
You think
table.
they're attack when we're asleep?
maybe, but you'll be aware of it.
Like, can't they just like stealth their
Last
way?
time they warned us with whistles.
I mean, yeah, but since it's night and they'd be covered by the darkness of night, can't they just
I
stealth?
mean, people are up for the night.
But yeah, but I'm
The
like,
whole trench doesn't go to bed.
well, no, like, is there spotlights on No Man's
Just
Land?
stand still at night.
Okay, okay, okay.
Attack each other.
Everyone good?
Yep.
Yeah,
All right.
Yes, sir.
Rest up.
sir.
Tomorrow the work begins.
And Eugene just falls into his cot.
Yeah.
So, kind of as time goes, you all lay sporadically around your cot, and Private Hughes kind of gets up and walks over to the central like lantern. He goes, "It's kind of bright," and he just like turns it down slowly as the darkness kind of fades in, and you all slowly drift into probably one of the most exhausted sleeps of your life. So, over the course of the next kind of week, you'll each be doing various tasks around the trench. So, we begin with our good friend Sammy, who is helping to rebuild one of the collapsed bunkhouses. This came after your sergeant had kind of recommended you for this job because your background on the farm, you're used to heavy
50
lifting.
push-ups, 80-something push-ups.
He showed up a drill sergeant. So you're going and doing this kind of rugged labor as you're more prepared for it.
Yeah.
Joining you will be Private Hughes and Corporal Reynolds. And so you guys are kind of tasked with rebuilding one of the collapsed bunks to help the displaced soldiers kind of get back. So it'll be a few days of that. If you want to speak with them during that time, you can. If not, I'll move on.
Nah, they would just regular small talk.
Okay, so make an athletics roll.
9.
I
You're
guess
able to keep up with no problem. The construction doesn't bother you. You're not really tired. I mean, you're tired, but you're not really
Used to.
tired.
Something I'm used to.
Yeah, you're used to rugged labor. Corporal Reynolds and Private Hughes are going to. I'm going to roll for them. They're also able to keep up pretty well. They don't have any issues. During that time, Corporal Reynolds, like, I can't fucking believe it. You see, like, hammers the thing in. He's like, that one day. He was here for one day.
And he didn't. I mean, yeah, I get he saved lives, but like, dude's like too scared to fire a weapon.
Well, it's like, I don't even care about that. This is the time that he was here. As he kind of like takes some like the metal pole and he just like drives another one in.
I'm with you on it,
Pour
like-
that concrete over there. He goes, I don't care. I don't care if he doesn't fire his weapon. All right, listen. If he doesn't fire his weapon, I don't care. He could run around all he wants in the back line. Fuck, I think he would miss if he did fire his weapon. You see the build on that boy? He doesn't know what he's doing. I think if he ran around and healed people, that's fine. That's great. He's the medic. That's what he does. I get it. I value his input on the team. I'm not trying to like shit on him, but like he was
Promotion?
here for a day.
For promotion.
Well, he skipped the rank. That's my problem. He skipped private first class. He just jumped straight to corporal.
Yeah, like
On a battlefield promotion from the captain.
from the first battlefield, for the first battle he's ever been in.
I've
And-
only
and
met the captain
his,
twice.
His performance in basic made me think he wasn't going to make it past basic.
That's what I'm saying. He didn't even wake up.
I had to wake him up. He don't even refer to his seniors as sir. He just
I can't
whatever.
fucking believe this. And Private Hughes is just like, come on, guys. He's not that bad.
He's not a bad guy, and I'm with Corporal here. I appreciate that he's going around saving people, you know, keeping them alive and everything. But I think it's a bit much for a skip rank.
I don't know. I mean, he saved my life and
And that's what we're grateful for. I think a promotion would have been in
saved
order.
all our lives, kind of.
He even saved the enemy's life, which is pointless.
I mean,
Where the enemy do the same.
yeah, but doesn't that kind of speak more to his character, not less?
But like what
Facts.
what I'm talking about is the healing. I appreciate. Yes, you could. I agree with the promotion, but
I mean, the bomb thing was pretty smart.
that could have been a lie for all I know. We didn't see it.
And the dude next to you, I want you to make an athletics roll.
Me
Stop being good at that stuff.
9.
Don't jinx us.
Oh yeah,
So-
he's on my team.
You do. You feel a hand kind of grab the front of your shirt, and you do resist just kind of naturally. And you see that there is this sergeant holding you kind of by the scruff. So you're going to continue to fight, or are you going to just because he's a higher rank?
Just because he's a high rank.
He's going to all right. Now listen here. You shut the fuck up. He was like, that was my trench section that he came over to. He goes, all of the men that are alive right now in my squad are basically because of him. He goes, now if you think you're above your station, I can tell your superior about that and we can have a conversation. Or, and he looks at Corporal Reynolds as well, the two of you can learn your place and get back to work.
Yes, sir.
And so he kind of drops you into the mud, like forcefully, and then walks off from the trench section. As you guys resume with the pouring of concrete, conversation dies down. Corporal Reynolds is still very
I'm
obviously
gonna like
agitated,
lean
but
into Camino's. I'm like, I just hope it doesn't go to his head. I feel like it's
he
going
goes,
to.
yeah, we'll see. And he was just like, come on, guys, he's still our ally. He's still on our squad.
Cuts to me. I'm looking at all the privates. You all listen to me.
I'm great.
As you guys kind of pour concrete, we'll now move over to Radsmith. So, having attained a new rank, Radsmith, and given your performance during the actual triage, you have been moved over to the triage area more permanently.
Oh, okay, cool.
The medical specialist named Dr. Cooper has specifically requested that you come work there. He was there. He was the doctor they brought in after the battle. He's an American soldier still. He just has a doctorate.
Oh, perfect.
He has an MD. And so he has basically requested that you come work with him. Your sergeant approved it. Your captain approved it. So this is now where you are.
Yeah, cool.
So your new station will be working in the triage center.
Oh yeah.
As we kind of come into the scene, there are several men lying around, not as urgent as before. And your current patient is someone who seems to be burning up from a very high fever.
Well, that's unfortunate.
So you see him kind of laying in the bed. He's pale. He's sweaty. He feels cold, but is hot. Like he expresses that he's freezing, but he's hot to the touch. And so, what's your move?
Well, if backstreet medicine has taught me anything, it's that a man who is cold but also hot, who needs to be given probably some type of medicine, most likely that of the infection kind, like bacteria, because usually bacteria and what's it called?
So antibiotics are not a thing yet.
All right, well,
So basing it
fake
on that,
fake antibiotics.
how would you actually go about treating this with your knowledge? Obviously, your character has more knowledge than you, Michael might, but role play through it. How does Billy approach situations like this? What's his bedside manner like? How does he run this?
Well, his bedside manner is him, so he's your bro.
Yeah, so this guy's just kind of laying there. He's like, ow.
Hey, man. So it says here that you are very cold, or you feel cold, and that you're hot. Okay. Were you shot? Step one.
Yeah. And so he gestures to a bandaged leg.
Okay.
Because I had back of the calf.
Excellent. So if I know anything about this, might be an infection. So in order to deal with this, I'm going to use magic. By that, I mean I'm going to make a roll, most likely a medicine roll, to determine if I am correct.
So I'm going to ask you, just more for the sake of detail, what would you try to do? So knowing that you're correct, it's an infection, how would you attempt to treat it as best as you can?
Clean wound, sterilize wound, then give any type of thing that would help, like pain, to start.
Okay. So you give me a medicine roll.
I can do that. Blah, blah. Well, I feel like it's my first day on the job. I should be better.
Remember,
than
you have
that.
a +2.
Oh, fuck, yeah, you're right.
You can keep
4. Perfect.
So out of 4, you're able to successfully. So you do know that a method that was still used in World War I to varying degrees of success and with a better understanding of how it works is bleeding. So you find the infected spot. You do bleed as much as you can safely out of him. You wrap and bandage things as best as you can. You do rudimentary stitching. And then, like you said, you give him some kind of painkiller. The only painkiller that was
Whiskey.
realistically available was morphine. And
I got syringes of these.
so you give him a small dose of morphine to kind of ease his pain. And you just clean it real well and wait to see if if his body can fight off the infection. And if not, and gangrene happens, amputation.
All right, I'll go dip my bone saw in some alcohol, and I'll be right back.
So, no, not yet.
Oh, sorry, wait, wrong hospital.
So the doctor will approach behind you as you're finishing up. And he will say,
Cooper, hey.
he'll go, quite impressive.
Oh, thank you.
He goes, you could have done a little better with the bleeding, or maybe in consideration, cool packs could have helped as well, but not bad for someone with no formal medical training or minimal.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
He says, how do you feel about your new placement here?
I like it. It's pretty nice.
So he'll kind of guide you over. The medical triage center has several beds, as you can imagine. There's kind of a central table that has all the tools. There are jars and bottles all over the place on the shelves kind of surrounding the walls. And he kind of leads you over to another soldier. And he's like, what do you think's wrong with this one? And the soldier's just unconscious.
Well, unconscious means two things. Either if I check him and he doesn't have a pulse, it's death. If I check him, he has a pulse, that means maybe coma or sleeping.
He goes, do you really think I would have a dead body in my triage center?
Well, if it was a trick question, yes. But that being
so
said,
he
let's figure
said-
this out.
So you go to feel for a pulse, and there is one.
Oh, good. So
He
he's
goes,
not
but that
dead.
is very clever of you. So yeah, he is alive.
Thank you.
He goes, so how would you intend to look for a coma?
Well, knowing the back to the backstreet knowledge I know, fuck. Do I know anything about comas? I have no idea of physiological medicine at
You
all.
can make a medicine roll to see if you
No,
can
I'm gonna take a guess and then I'm gonna make a
if
medicine
you
roll.
if you get a correct guess, I will give you a Benny.
I think it has something to do with dilation and pupil dilation that can determine if someone has a
Correct.
coma.
Very correct.
You are
Fuck yeah! I'm so
you
smart
are-
sometimes.
So Dr. Cooper watches as you kind of think for a minute, and then you pop one of his eyes open, and you shine a light kind of across it, and there's no reaction or very minimal reaction. And he goes, very good. He goes, correct. If the eyes are unresponsive, it means that the brain is not perceiving, and he's in a coma.
Oh, thank you. I learned that when someone takes a bat to the back of the head, that usually means that they're unconscious.
Or you could prick them in the foot and see if they're faking it.
He
Ooh,
goes,
that's a good one too.
he
I forgot about
goes,
that one.
Different backgrounds, definitely. He goes, but I think there's value in it. Realistically, as he kind of looks around the room, he goes, realistically, the work we do is probably more similar to what you did than what I did. So I believe a Chicago alleyway probably is more of a teacher for this kind of scenario than a Harvard medical school.
Most of mine took place on the bridge, but yes.
He goes, why don't you tell me about Chicago, about yourself? I mean,
Well.
we've worked together a little bit, but I would like to know you more if you're going to be more permanent.
Well, I don't like answering questions about myself, but I do it this way. If you have like a top 3 things, like if I was in a classroom that you'd like to know, I'd be happy to share with you because my life is very full of experience in life.
He gives you kind of a wide smile. He goes, you're quite an oddball.
Thank you.
But sure. He goes, why don't you tell me where... I know vaguely how you learned, but what got you interested in the concept of medicine? What were you doing before the war? And what do you plan to do after?
Oh, okay. These are easy ones. Okay, so what got me into the concept of medicine? Well, I used to not live a very healthy lifestyle, and thus such as not a healthy lifestyle, sometimes people get hurt very badly, i.e. like you're hungry and you want food, and then someone catches you with that said food, and then they stab you in the side. Well, I've decided at that point that medicine was very interesting. After that, I started just being kind of the de facto person to go to. And that led me into being an EMT. I looked into it. I looked up all the programs and such. And I was able to get more stable, and that's what I was doing before the war. I was an EMT, and I just kind of lived in an apartment next to my best friend. And then... Or I should say a close friend. I don't know if he considers me a best friend, but we can hope.
We all know the best friend is a sacred title that has to be shared or it doesn't count.
Exactly.
Doctorly advice.
And the last question, what do I want to do after the war?
Yeah. What would you, if you could do anything, not even just within the realm of reality, but if you were to be discharged tomorrow and told that you can do anything that you wanted, what would you do?
I would be able to be a surgeon.
Okay. This is honorable.
Thank you.
Any questions about me? Anything you need to know?
Nothing. No. Yeah. No. Let's share it in return. What you do before the war, and you don't have to tell me how you. Actually, no. Tell me how you got into medicine.
Well, he says, before the war, I was a surgeon. Well, I'm more of a physician, but I can also perform surgery.
Want to tutor? You want to tutor someone?
What's that?
I said, do you want an apprentice, a tutor? Like,
He goes, well, that's why I requested you.
oh, I meant for like surgeonship too. Like,
No, my intention is fully to teach you.
oh, I thought I was just diagnosing. Oh, great! This is perfect. I like this.
No, and when you were pulled in, when you were pulled in post battle, and you started immediately with the treatment, your bedside manner needs work. But besides that, your performance as an actual medical technician is impressive for someone who has had minimal formal training and mostly learned in alleyways. And I think your resourcefulness is maybe a symptom of that, which is a good thing. He says, so as far as how I got into medicine, I grew up in a pretty poor area, not unlike yourself. We had animals. We had a lot of animals. And often animals get injured and you can't afford to take them to a vet or a specialized doctor. So we dealt with it ourselves. We did medicine that way. As it turns, animals and people are not all that different. Some would say, humanity is but another animal.
I'm glad this story didn't take a worse turn where I thought you were going to say, I practiced on the animals. I was like, oh, well, they're alive now. Let's see what happens to make them not alive.
No, nothing so dark. My father was a lifetime farmer, so animals were something he was used to. When I graduated from high school, I decided to pursue medicine professionally, so I lost the accent. I moved to the Northeast, and I began studying at Harvard Medical, and then I graduated. I practiced for about 6 or 7 years, and then the war broke out, and I volunteered to come on the condition that I was a doctor in service and not a front lineman. And here I am on the front lines, he says.
Oh, excellent. Do you prefer Dr. Cooper, or by your first name?
You can call me Cooper. Technically, the rank is Master Sergeant, but you can just call me Cooper.
Master God Sergeant Cooper, got it.
He says, I appreciate having you around. I've had other apprentices, not many of which were as quick to pick it up.
Well, thank you. I hope to do well.
I think you'll do. And as he says that, the door kind of bursts open.
Hey, what's up?
And you see two men are kind of wrestling one guy. And this one guy is like, ah! And he's like throwing them back. And like the men are falling off. Like this guy's actively throwing people. And Cooper immediately turns to go grab them.
Okay. Do we have sedatives?
What is your move?
Sedatives. Do we have sedatives?
You are not familiar with all the things in the room.
Good. I'm going to look around and be like, fuck. Well, you know what they say. When in Rome,
In Chicago.
So he kind of quickly runs over and begins trying to grab this man and almost force him to the ground with the help of the one soldier who didn't get like.
Oh, do we have like bed sheets or something?
Yeah, there's like bed sheets.
Okay, yeah, I'll take that over. I'll tie him up. Or help tie him up.
Okay, so you can make a athletics roll.
That's a word. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So, despite your best efforts, you kind of come down on this man, and you're like three of you are dogpiling him, and he's just kind of like and he just like elbows Dr. Cooper. His blood kind of sprays up out of his nose, and then he like kind of almost grabs you and throws you across the room, but you don't really go across the room. You just kind of lay out in front of him a couple feet.
Okay.
And the one soldier that's like trying to hold him down just kind of like donkey punches him in the side of the head, and he doesn't really seem affected as he turns kind of towards him, and Dr. Cooper like leaps back on top of him to try and hold him down.
All right, so I'm gonna just quickly say to
Dr. Cooper is going to turn to you before you can say anything.
Oh, okay.
And go. He will turn to you and go, Radsmith, grab the valerian root off the shelf, as he's holding him to the floor.
I will reach up and go grab the valerian root.
Yeah, so you have three options. And you, as a character, are not familiar with that is specifically, I don't assume.
Cool.
You see a jar with some purple bulbs and white spine-looking things.
Sure.
You see a blue and white flower that's tied up in a bundle with a bunch of roots hanging off the bottom.
Okay.
And you see a vial of a clear liquid with a syringe next to it. 5, 4, pick quickly. 3.
I'm gonna pick out one.
What's that?
I said I'm gonna wait for you to count down. I was just gonna pick.
2, 1.
All right, I'm picking the middle one.
So you wanted to go through the blue and white flowers.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
So you grab this bundle of blue and white flowers, and he goes, "No, not that one. Come hold him."
All right, I'll do that.
And so you guys you make a strength roll for me. You'll have
Strength.
assistance from Dr. Cooper.
Strength
So
roll.
let me roll his first. Or not.
Oh, well, okay. Well, I still rolled. I got a 4.
He provides no bonus.
Good. I got a 4.
A 4 will do it. So you're able to successfully kind of hold this man in place. And he's like, all right, keep him for a moment.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
And you see Dr. Cooper get up and grab the purple bulb-looking things with the white spines.
Cool.
And he quickly runs over to what looks like a mortar and pestle, the little thing. Kind of pours a couple in, and he grinds them down. And adds a little bit of water, kind of grinds it into almost like a paste. And as he comes over, he goes, okay, now the hard part. I need you to open his mouth.
Oh, all right. Sounds good to me.
And so the other soldiers are helping you, so you'll have a +2 to this action.
Okay.
So you're going to make a whatever roll you think you can do to open his mouth. You can do athletics or strength.
Let's do athletics. Viatois. That's a 5.
So the 5, you are successful because it's +2 is 7. So you kind of grab the bottom lip and you pull his mouth open. You're not really able to hold it open because humans can bite fingers off, but it's just enough that he's able to pour this like liquid in and it goes down this guy's throat, and then everybody kind of hops off of him as he like and he just kind of after like a minute or two starts to slow down, and then they grab him and they wrap him in one of the straitjackets, and he finally kind of as he like just falls kind of unconscious. Not really unconscious, more like in a stupor. And he goes, well, that was eventful. What's going on? And the reporting soldier goes, I don't know. He came into the trench and he was freaking the hell out. And yeah, I don't fucking know what that was. He started punching people. He had a knife. No one's hurt, but yeah, you're the doctor. You figure it out. I gotta go build walls. And so he turns to leave. He goes, well, what do you think?
Well, my backstreet alleyway, which will be a reoccurring thing I will continue to say, psychotic break. Some people would call that a form of shell shock or PTSD, depending.
He goes, I believe you're correct. If you would give him a thorough medical examination just of his physical health, make sure he's good, and then he gives you a clipboard. He goes, fill out any notes here.
Oh, I can't read.
Yes, you can. You didn't take illiterate.
I did not. Oh, I'm joking.
That'd be funny.
Yeah, fill out this to the best of your ability, and we'll get him ready to go. Now, I want you to remember, as he has the plant in his hand, this plant. This is valerian root.
Yes.
It is also known as catnip. It is an extremely strong natural sedative
Okay.
that, if given enough, as he gestures to the guy, you'll pretty much fall asleep within a couple moments.
What is the enough amount?
Depends on the weight.
Okay.
Usually, I mix it into with a couple other plants, something neutral to carry it, and something and like water to make it palatable. And if you're really feeling compassionate for your patient, you can mix it with something kind of sweet, like a sugar cane, to give it a taste that isn't garbage. And usually, after about, like I said, a few minutes, you'll go down. It just depends on your size, though.
Makes sense.
Usually a gram per pound of body weight. That's a lot. Hold on. Half a gram per pound of body weight.
Gram per body weight. Got it.
Yeah. Well, but it's a plant. So like if you're crushing it down. He says, don't quote me on that.
I've
I
quoted you.
am a doctor. Don't quote.
And with that,
I'm not a doctor. Don't quote me.
if you'll make me another medicine roll just to check out the body.
Yes, I will. That's a 6, baby. That's a 3. That equals a number 9.
Are you wounded or is it canceled by
Canceled by the healer.
Okay. So you give this man a thorough examination. He does not seem wounded at all. Like, at all. Which is weird because everyone who was in the battle, even if they didn't sustain major injury, had like something.
What a lucky man.
So
I mean, not the psych part, but what a lucky
he
man.
seems completely uninjured in any way. You also notice, because you got a raise, that he has a very unnatural kind of heat to his body. He's not feverish. He's not sweating. He doesn't have any other symptoms of infection. But he is very warm.
Comfy. Okay.
Yeah, like if you touch his skin, like on his face, it's very like warm to the touch.
Well, I guess I'll get him something to cool him. There's ice packs somewhere in here.
I don't think ice packs were a thing, but there's definitely cold water.
Listen, World War I is effectively now.
I was gonna say the 1920s has always messed with you. And so with that, you'll continue your service for the rest of the week. And now we go to last, but certainly not least, Eugene Winkler. Given your injuries, you can't do a lot of heavy lifting, and you can't do a lot of carrying, so you need a job that requires you to maintain a mostly stationary position. So you have had the lucky selection of cleaning the latrines.
Yeah, I was gonna just finish college, do this shit, be a janitor.
The Sergeant McAllister will lead you over. Like, this is your glorious job. Enjoy that. You will shovel these out pretty much daily.
Have at it.
Can you give me a briefing on what happened?
On the battle?
Yeah, I just want to think it through while I clean this poo. All right.
Sure, he says. You're gonna want this, and he hands you a cloth mask. He goes, so the battle, not long after we arrived, while you were unloading the truck, as I'm sure you remember, we started receiving a bombardment from German forces. After the bombardment subsided, they charged the trench. You were already unconscious at this point, and they made pretty good progress. The artillery managed to wipe out the machine gun emplacement that would normally hold them back on our section of the trench, where your bunk is. Your brother soldiers successfully fought well, but really the deciding factor was that it was between two things. Corporal Radsmith was able to devise an improvised explosive that did manage to wipe out a chunk of their line. It wasn't quite where he wanted it to go, to my understanding.
That must be the Chicago thinking.
It could be.
I heard he was in
he says.
a lot of
On the Golden
scuffles.
Bridge, anything is possible.
Not of bombs. No, he goes. He was able to successfully delay. It didn't quite wipe them out like he had hoped, but it did delay, and the fire did cause problems later on when the wind started. And then, besides that, it was just the fighting of your fellow soldiers. I mean, Private Anderson did serve well. He fought well. Everyone did. I have no complaints.
So were those standard mortars, or
To my understanding, yeah.
how far apart is like our trench from their trench? And
That's it's above my pay grade. That I'm not certain.
well, I mean, we could maybe look at how far that we know that those mortars go from where they position them at, and maybe we can figure out where they launched them from.
I think we know. I mean, their trench isn't like a secret.
Well, they would probably put them somewhere where they can keep reloading it over and over again. So maybe there's a supply cache near there.
Could be, he says. I
just
almost suspect it, but
And I'm just thinking.
no, I mean, it's a good train of thought. I don't personally have much I can do with it. I lead the team, but I don't make any tactics.
I'll think on it.
Yeah. And so he kind of turns and walks off, and he goes, if you need anything, you know where to find me.
Can you help me?
With the latrine? No.
Oh,
No, thanks. I've done my time. And he'll cut off and leave.
And you'll see Billy walk out of the latrine and be like, that was good. Oh,
Billy!
hey.
Billy, help.
I see they have you doing this. I'm sorry.
Goes back in.
I should finish.
Chicago slop. No.
Here comes the Chicago squirt.
It's called the Chicago Water Fountain from where I'm from.
Why am I including him? Shit. Someone's falling asleep in the stalls.
So the smell, as you can imagine, is repugnant.
We're going to feel roll.
Your eyes,
Yeah, so
that
like,
would have been better. Your eyes burn and tear up, and your nose is running almost like you just ate something really
What
hot.
the hell do they feed these people?
It smells of like mashed pepper and shit. I mean, let's be honest. And so as you're digging through it with a shovel that's just a little shorter than you want it to be, so it gets on your gloves, you're going to make a vigor roll for me.
I'm surprised they gave you gloves.
Failed it.
Crit fail?
No.
Okay.
Normal fail. I don't want to fall in poop.
Can I give a Benny for it to be a crit fail?
No.
Damn it.
Don't you do this to me, man.
I earned one.
No.
Let me use it.
So, this is disgusting, and you're doing your best not to throw up.
This is the nasty
You do throw
shit.
up, though. You are not able to hold it down on a failure. You take a level of fatigue for, it's called, like, nauseous or something. I don't know.
Now I got to clean up more shit.
You're just supplying it.
Come on, scoop it up. Second episode in a row we talked about vomit. And so you do dutifully, you're doing your job well, or
Use
you
a
just
good word.
half-assing it?
I'm already deep in it.
You deep in the shit?
Deep in the shit.
Okay. Is there anything that you would want to do that you can do within the confines of this? I mean, so you're reflecting on the battle. That's an option. You weren't there for it, so there's a limited amount that you could really devise from it. But is there anything Eugene's thinking or wants to do? Any internal monologue
Preferably nothing about shit.
or
Yeah,
vomit?
it's
Or
ignoring the
vomit.
shit I'm picking up. Is it possible that I could? So I got briefed a scenario, and maybe run scenario based on what I studied from old tactics, from my textbooks, and maybe
Yes.
formulate something from that.
Yes. Make a battle roll.
I'm gonna figure this out, or it's gonna kill me.
Gotta figure out how to clean poo.
Yeah, I don't want to figure that out.
Come on, you can
This
do
is the
that.
one thing
Absolutely
I'm
do.
good at. Well, it can't be that. Like they wouldn't use a Spartan tactic. I fail. That's 0.
So you rack your mind, but unfortunately, a lot of the battle that you study is quite old. Even the Napoleonic stuff is a little out of date.
Maybe
Quickly at the
Shouldn't have mortars.
Well, yeah, it can. But quickly at the outset of World War One in real life and in this,
the modern war.
well, it shifted. So when the battle started, Napoleonic tactics made sense. The French still wore very bright colored uniforms and stood in the middle of a field. Well, the problem is they started getting shot a lot, and so they decided that that was no longer probably the best way to do that. And so it shifted so dynamically in the past 5 years that you're not really sure how to apply it. Like you understand that there's some bits of information that you have that are good. And then there's the scenario you're in. You just haven't bridged them yet, but you're getting there.
Maybe. So if we just steal their tactic, and they've already used most of their resources, we could run it back at them. I'm just gonna keep doing that.
So you do so. Aside from your daily duties, you're all free to do. You have a week pretty much of downtime aside from your daily duties. So is there anything you guys would like to do as characters? Or is this kind of a leisure time?
Eugene will do his daily pull-ups because he can't use his leg.
And I am going to assist him.
With the pull-ups?
Yeah, every time he does it, I'm like standing right there. I'm like holding onto like his like back
Ass.
upper arms. No,
Billy, where are you putting your hands?
I'm trying to help you up this thing.
I believe they call this a physical.
We're gonna get you to do the salmon ladder one day. I promise you.
I'm gonna climb the ladder.
No, it's not like a physical ladder.
I mean, it kind of is.
Yeah.
It's a much harder ladder.
It's like a fake ladder. It's
Made of
like
salmon.
made of salmon that you eat. We use it in Chicago. It's really good.
Everything smells like poop.
Ah,
So yeah,
the
you
smell of
guys do
Chicago.
notice a
It's just like
distinct poop air around Eugene at most times.
I believe Abby will be avoiding him.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
You're
like.
not caressing him while he's doing pull-ups?
No, I did it the one time, and then I was like, "Oh my god, he smells like shit."
So besides physical training, Eugene, is there anything you want to do? You want to go talk to people, do anything?
Yeah, maybe I'll talk to the whoever leads the tactics. Kind of, I can talk to. That's not too upper in command.
Well, so you know that you could reasonably get in touch with your staff sergeant because he leads
to
your
staff.
he leads your entire squad.
Yeah, I'll do staff sergeant.
Okay, so do you remember his name? Calling you out for being a bad player if you don't.
He's sir. It's
Actually, that's technically
staff
right. It
sergeant
is, sir.
Phelps. No,
Hey, yeah, there you go.
Phelps.
Staff Sergeant Phelps, your commanding officer's commanding officer, but also yours. So Staff Sergeant Phelps has been very open door with you guys. He said that if you want to talk to him, you can. So as you go to the sergeant's quarters, you kind of peek in the door.
Sir?
He'll kind of turn his head and go, "Oh, Winkler," and he'll turn to the sergeant he was conversing with. He'll be like, "I'll be back in a moment." As he steps up away from the table and kind of meets you at the door, he goes, "What can I help you with? How are you doing?"
I'm I think getting better, doing good. They have me doing some odd tasks, but I was thinking on what happened from when I was briefed earlier. I was thinking maybe if we had the resources, we could probably try running the same tactic they used on us, since they seem to use a lot of resources doing that. So I think we would come out on the advantage side if we did that. I was just kind of thinking on that.
He says, "So," he goes, "Let me understand. What are you suggesting this, or are you asking me about the feasibility?"
Both.
Okay. He says, "So the tactic that the Germans use,
Blitzkrieg.
yes, it's called Blitzkrieg. It means lightning war. It's something that is unique to them. They didn't invent it, but they've perfected it. The thing about Blitzkrieg that makes it effective is if you do it first, it's pretty hard for your opponent to mount a counteroffensive because the target of the artillery shells was never really the trench. It was the supply line behind the trench. So while they did burn through a significant amount of supplies to initiate the attack, they destroyed a significant amount of ours during the attack. So we don't have the attack, we don't have the resources to mount a counteroffensive. Again, that's kind of beyond my pay grade to even make that decision. That's kind of Pershing's decision, if not higher. But that's why we couldn't just copy the Blitzkrieg and do it now.
So from all of the artillery fire from those mortars, those are heavy, so they probably had to have their cache somewhere close to where they were shooting. Do we have written maybe where the trajectory of those were coming from? Maybe we can hit those points.
So he kind of looks at you with like a half smile, and he goes, "You're interested in the command side of this, aren't like right?"
Yeah.
He goes, "Then allow me to, without insulting, ask you some simple questions to guide you through the thought process." He says, "So that is a fair assumption. They probably have artillery supplies. Where do we get our supplies?
From the French and import, I guess, from
Where
the
when
United
they
States.
come? How do they get to the trench?
By truck that got blown up
So how do you think that they get their supplies? Also being in a foreign nation,
from truck.
right? And our cache, so to speak, is where? Where are the supplies being shipped from?
For ours?
Yeah.
From the United States. Well,
Okay, yeah, but once they make it to France, where are they
The
stored
port?
until they come here?
so I guess the port.
Correct. So it would be fair to assume that the Germans also have some kind of city base that they are transporting supplies. So I think your line of thinking is correct. And so he'll kind of like, wait a minute, and he goes and grabs a map. And on the map, he's got the trench that you're in. And then you kind of see some structures behind it, like these large green blobs. He goes, so here is where we are. We're the first line. So that means that our trench is in direct opposition, and he kind of lays it out on the thing in front of you, like a box or something. He goes, so our line's in direct opposition to their front line. And then in the middle is no man's land. So these lines fight each other. You passed it on the way in, but I could understand if nerves you didn't see it. There's a second line. So if this trench is overtaken, we have another trench that is back. That is a second line. And then we have field command, and then we have central command in the city of Saint-Nazaire. So basically, even if we could blitzkrieg the Germans and we took the first line, they could mount a counteroffensive from the second line to retake the trench that we couldn't possibly match. The supplies need to be delivered from the nearest port city, or the nearest city. It doesn't have to be a port per se, which means that they're delivering. The farther forward we go, the harder it gets for us to resupply. And so I think your chain of thought is correct. It's a good idea that we need our scouts to identify their supply routes, not their cache, because their cache is out of reach. So you're on the right chain of thought, and that is a good plan. And he goes, like, looking around. I'll let you in on a secret that you can't tell anybody. That is the plan in the works, is their supply logistics. If we weaken their supplies, then we can mount a successful offensive. But we don't have the information at the moment. That's what our scouts are up to. So you're on the right track, and I think if you work hard in whatever they've got you doing,
You don't want to know.
you'll probably be a good candidate for officership eventually, if you're even in the army that long. But good instinct. I mean, stick with it, but take that new information and try to reprocess and see what comes of it.
Do they do the blitzkrieg tactic often?
Blitzkrieg, sometimes. It depends on their supply levels. They did it when we were arriving because they knew that our trench would be weak because we were supplying.
How? I mean, they could get a rough idea, but how would they know we were low in supplies?
Good intel. That's the thing. Spies. Who knows? I mean, they seemed to at least know that we were getting fresh recruits. And they knew that it would be ideal to attack while those recruits were unloading because they're not ready to fight. They underestimated the audacity of our new recruits.
This bitch.
The homeboys.
And so we did have an advantage in the fact that, and another advantage, and he goes, this is more into military theory and maybe more advanced, but the concept of war weariness. I mean, so soldiers that have just arrived are less worn out than soldiers that have been here. So like you guys are more energetic than say sergeants that have been here for months.
Right.
But with that in mind, they do it frequently enough, but they try to time it well because it's not effective if they just die. I mean, all they're doing is ticking closer to losing, and the Kaiser doesn't want to lose. I mean, it doesn't do him well. So
maybe to weed out the spies, and I'm just thinking off the top of my head, could we fake a time where we're bringing recruits normally to when we think they're usually going to do a blitzkrieg? Maybe fake our supply trucks.
he goes, not easily. So I don't know that there are spies among our ranks. I mean, scouts could just be in the woods. I mean, a scout's job is to not be seen.
The camera pans over to the woods, and you see a guy hunched in there. They found me out.
He goes, I have to step away to continue, but I think you're on the right track. And I think if you take what I've explained and think on it and come back with later, we can talk again. And it'll start, this picture will become clearer as we go. But understanding how start with just the supply chain and wondering about that and try to wrap your mind around that idea.
Okay. Yes, sir.
And he'll turn to walk back into the.
I'll look at the map.
Oh, Phelps, you're late for our party.
So on the other side of them is a whole city to back them, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's not next to them. So actually, in reality, the city that you're nearest that you arrived in is like 4 hours away. Like the bus ride was pretty long. I might have undersold it last episode. But the bus ride's pretty far. Theirs is closer, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, but it's not like they can get instant supplies. It's just putting your supplies in a city means that it can't easily be taken out because you have to wipe out the whole city.
And our trenches just go to the, left and right to the woods. The wood lines on the other sides of the trenches, right?
Around the trench that you're in is just death.
Well, no, I meant so when the trench, we go right all the way down the trenches, is there woods over there?
No, it's all barren from bombardment.
and then
If
the
you go
left
back
side-
towards the second line, there's trees and stuff.
Okay.
But there was a forest here at one point, but it's been destroyed.
Okay. I'll think on that.
And then, so that was you. Do you want to do anything there special, Corporal Radsmith?
Special man.
Maybe go talk to Sammy.
Okay,
That's out of
Sammy,
pocket.
You're working in the bunk, trying to rebuild that one destroyed bunk. And then here comes. You just got done with the day. Corporal Radsmith, Corporal Radsmith will be there in a moment. Corporal Reynolds is there with you, and he's just like, "Good work, high five," and then they bam, high five, and
I got you.
they high five. Private Hughes he's always been quiet. He's been noticeably more quiet. He works, he goes back to the bunk, and he goes to sleep. Oh, I mean, he'll eat and stuff, but he's not talkative. And he never has been, but even less so now. You will see Corporal Radsmith as he goes to come down the trench, and Corporal Reynolds goes, "Oh boy,
Ronald, Sammy, hey.
Hello.
hey, how's it going? I gotta go deal with something. I'll be right back."
See you, brother.
And so he'll kind of walk off.
Hey, Sammy. What's
How you
up?
doing?
You need any help?
I think we pretty much got for today anyway.
Oh, okay.
Not much. I mean, just building.
Oh, okay. I mean, what's your plan for the rest of the day? I hang out with Eugene a lot, so I figured maybe it's time that I hang out with you a little bit longer.
I feel like I'm getting
Well, I was
betrayed.
thinking I was thinking of a way to build up defenses for the trenches. Like lethal traps that can hurt the enemy if they charge us again.
Lethal traps.
God damn. They're not trapping them. They're killing them.
So Sammy's going a mechanical route of
Well, because think
bomb-making.
about it. When, back in West Virginia, when you would go hunting, you would either get something that traps it or kills it.
Yeah, that makes
So,
sense.
like-
we had that in Chicago too. I'll tell you about it later. But go on.
So, like, okay,
You're older.
for example, the enemies hop in our trench. Either they land on something, or something happens to them as they're approaching.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, that's what mines are for.
All right.
But like more like a makeshift trap for a last second dish. Like if they ever get our trenches again, we have our traps.
Oh, okay. Have we considered putting like barbed wire under small patches of dirt so when they step?
I was
in it,
thinking
they'll float?
that, but I feel like people in like a couple years from now do that in the woods somewhere in a different country.
So I'm ahead of my time.
Way ahead of it.
Okay, cool.
No, I was thinking.
Let's do that. That's
You're
good.
an innovator. At the
I was
time.
thinking that
Really?
that would work. Like make a little pit, and if they jump in, they fall right in the barbed wire, and
Yeah.
then you can just do what you want with them.
Well, yeah, capture them, but yeah,
Shoot them, capture them, stuff like that.
yeah, capture them. I agree.
Or a trick that we learned in West Virginia to scare off animals
Kill
is
them.
that you can take a bullet, put like a nail under it, and when they step on it, it
It'll
could be
go into their head.
no. If they step on, it's like a mine, but it could be like a blank. But being that's where they're used to it, it would actually have to hurt them. So it would just hit the leg and make them incapacitated, where they really can't fight on. They step on a bullet, it goes through their foot.
Cool. Yeah, no, I like that. I like
It wouldn't kill them.
I like the pitfall trap more. Less lethal, but yeah.
What it is? Because think about it, if you fall into razor wire, how much chance of infection is there after all them cuts?
When you get to me, not a lot less.
Yes, but still. And then the chances of them, it depends how they fall in it.
So were you and Reynolds talking about this?
Do you see Private Hughes kind of emerge from the bunker? And he's kind of like, oh, hey, guys.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
You know. And he kind of just turns to walk on.
That, or I was thinking like,
That's how I feel.
yeah, he's been like that for the last couple of days.
Well,
I
go
think-
talk to him. He's your friend.
We have. I just think the war is getting to him. I think he's either homesick or just don't like the war.
Yeah, but like, you could just
Oh, I know we do. We make small talk as we're working.
was that your small talk?
No, like as we're working. Right now, I just think he's tired. I mean, I'm tired, but and Mim, he's always been quiet. He's always been the quiet type. But like, I mean, I've been thinking of ways to make the trench more safe.
That sounds like a good plan. Let me know when you think of something.
I wonder what Billy and Sammy are doing. I should have that.
You want a best friend bracelet?
Sure.
I had this old one that was
feel like-
that says Eugene, but I don't need it anymore.
A great sadness has came over you.
Eugene will remember that.
Eugene will remember that.
So, Sammy, is there anything else specifically you want to do? Or, well, sorry, hold on. I'll get to you in a minute. Billy, is there anything else you talk to Sammy? Anything else you want to do specifically? You want to, I mean, you're working normally, so there's that, but like,
I mean, I just go help out random people in Delta, I think.
okay, so no one in Delta is particularly, aside from Eugene, is particularly wounded.
No, I meant like just go help with whatever they were doing.
You can help me yourself
if I'm
with
not
shit.
busy.
Okay.
So it's like I have the free time, right?
Yeah, you have some free time, like I said, per day. You can do whatever you want with it. So yeah, as you kind of go with Delta, let's pick someone. Say pick one or two more people.
Oh fuck, my head hurts. Let's. I'll do the last two people I talked to. Let's do Reynolds and Hughes.
Okay, so Hughes, you catch him on a different day. Not the same. You didn't just follow him.
He walked away, and I followed him. I was like, "Where are you going?"
You catch Hughes and O'Connell in one of their chess matches. And similar to in France or to Saint-Nazaire, Hughes is winning by a large margin, but is just kind of downplaying his own ability so that the other guy doesn't quit. And he's playing through, and then he's like, "Yeah, you're getting it. You know, you're getting there." And O'Connell's like, "Yeah, I'm not really a fan of this one. I just know you like it." So they kind of clear off the table. You know, they kind of go to reset the pieces, and he goes, "Oh, Billy, you want to play?"
Sure, I'm cool. I'm down. I'm bad at it, but we can do this.
I'm cool.
Yeah. So you know how the pieces work?
Relatively.
Okay, so roll a battle skill.
I don't have that.
Eugene wants to play chess.
Ooh, doubles. Let's go. I know how to fucking play this game.
Billy, you're really good.
13.
So you realize that
Oh, sorry. 11. My bad.
chess shares a lot of similarities to Rock and Stick, which is a game that was played on Golden Bridge.
No, let me get this straight. It was called Mechanical Horses, where we drove cars in
Into the
weird
chop
patterns.
Okay.
So you, in Chicago,
We're not
you
getting
played
it.
chess with. There actually are street hustlers in Chicago that play chess. So you've messed around with them before. You're not great at it, but you do well enough. He goes, "Wow, that's actually really."
So this
smart."
goes left. This makes an L.
Yeah. Oh, that's made. Wow. Okay. Good job, Billy.
Thanks. I mean, it couldn't done it without you. Thank you for teaching me.
Yeah. Yeah. He says, how's the court? How's it? Yeah. How's the promotion?
I mean, I don't feel any different. So I guess it's like aging. Eventually, I just don't feel any different.
Yeah. been any different?
Kiss my ring.
Like, I mean, treatment wise, I know you
I mean,
got a better station, but I think
this is the best benefit I can think about this entire thing. Bow to me. No, I'm only joking.
he goes, yeah, I don't think it quite works like that.
Does it?
Brooke,
You
wait
see
for that for a reason.
his smile and his laugh, kind of not quickly, but with some speed, they kind of fade out.
I tried. Okay.
It's okay. You're good. So you've been feeling all right?
He goes, it's okay. It's just been a lot since everything.
That's fair. Well, I can tell you that it's not great just idling. It is better to talk to people. So if you ever want to talk to me and hang out and do more things like this, or anything, honestly, I'm down to do whatever. Just don't include going to the latrine at the times of 9 to 7. About.
It's a long shift.
Yeah, I imagine he does.
I don't really know. That's guessed.
He goes,
Billy's
yeah,
never gonna hang out with me again.
He goes, I'm okay with that. Yeah. He goes, I'm sure I'll be all right. It's just
Talk it out to people. It's much better than hanging out and doing. I know. I've lived on the streets, and let me tell you, when you watch your best friend,
street wisdom is everything Billy has.
Our Chicago viewership's gonna go down.
when my friend was stabbed to death in front of me for stealing bread, I really needed to talk to somebody.
You're what?
Hold on, what?
I'll tell you more about that later. But that being said, like I do know the feeling of like how traumatic events feel. So
Okay.
if you ever need to talk, just let me know.
Yeah, will do, man. Will do. I think talking to someone's probably good. And so he'll kind of like, thank you, and he'll kind of be like, I could. You want to? I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave the board here. And he's just gonna get up.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll put it under my bed eventually.
Gene
and I'll
walks.
give it
Well,
back
like
to
the
Blake.
center table's been fixed. He kind of just leaves it there for anyone else to play.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll reset the pieces.
got the crack
But
in it where my legs snap.
in true beginner chess fashion, I flipped the bishop and knight's positions.
Right,
and
which
very
I do all the
confused.
time. So yeah, you have that, and then you said Corporal Reynolds was your last one, right?
Yeah, so I'll swivel on my seat and look at him and be like, "Hey, man,
And you sitting there reading. Goes, hey,
what you up to?"
he's reading.
I can't see the title. What is it? I'm just. So yeah, I can. What you reading?
So I've been working my way through this here classic.
Like, I don't know many classics, so
We didn't
Yeah.
have books in Chicago.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me with Chicago and
title
everything.
yeah, we don't read a lot in Chicago. It's very
Yeah,
true.
Yeah. So anyway, not enough about that. And he closes the book and like sets it over there. He goes, "What's up? What can I help you with?"
Nothing. I was just making conversation. Figured I had some free time. I would talk to all my squad mates that I haven't talked to in the last 48 hours.
Well, you want to come join me on a hobby of mine?
What's your hobby?
You'll see.
Yeah, I'm down.
Getting small animals.
So he gets his boots on, and he kind of leads you down the trench. And you guys kind of work your way through the trench. You hear the different men kind of shifting around. It's more towards the end of the week now, so your stuff's more or less repaired. Like the trench is more or less back to working order. The bunk is having the final bit worked on that needed to be repaired.
Yep.
And he kind of guides you all the way down. And you go to this one section of the trench where there's a much darker room.
Yeah.
And in this darker room, you see a man that you recognize.
Hey.
It's the German soldier that you actually captured.
Oh, hey, brother. How you doing?
And he is chained to a wall.
That's exciting. How you doing?
And,
Why is he chained? But how are you doing?
He goes, he's a POW. So
Yeah.
we don't usually let them roam around.
That's fair.
He goes, he's been stubborn with sharing any information.
Okay.
So sometimes I come out in here and, hang out with him, he says.
All right. I'm down. How you doing? I'm going to look at the
So
German.
the soldier's asleep.
Oh,
the German soldier.
never mind that. I was going to just have a conversation with the German
So he's
soldier.
going to walk over to the soldier and abruptly kicked him in the side, like in the ribs, as hard as he can. And so the soldier just kind of like,
Hey, do you speak English?
9.
9, like you speak 9
He
words
goes,
out of
he doesn't
English?
speak any English, but I speak German, so anything we beat out of him, I can understand.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, I'm down. So let's translate. So I'm gonna look at him and say, "Can I get you anything? Do you need water? Something?" I'll look at Reynolds.
Reynolds goes, "Is not how this works."
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll take a step back. I do not understand how this works.
He goes, yeah, so we need information.
Right.
He's not willing to give it to us.
Okay.
So we need to get it from him.
Yeah, so let's start by
Beating the shit out of him.
Giving
And he
him-
kicks him in the face.
So
With this sound thud, his boot kind of cracks, hits this German in the side of the head. And you just hear the guy kind of like bounce back. And he's like, oh, hi, nine. And he goes, you'll tell me something and eventually. And then he says a phrase in German that I'm not going to try to say. And
Ich bin eine Frau. I think I just said I'm a girl.
he says some stuff in
You
German.
feel
They
so
kind of
shocked.
go back and forth for a moment. And Reynolds goes, take his boot off for me.
Okay, I'm down. I think I'm gonna take his
Sucking
boot
his
off.
toes.
Betty.
I don't think he used any.
I haven't had much time yet.
All right, excellent.
So yeah, he like kneels down, and he's just kind of like, all right, we're gonna take this. We'll give this a minute to ride. Then.
I wanted to, but it was gonna hold back.
You good?
Yeah.
So he kneels down with a hammer, and he just kind of smashes his big toe, and you feel that you hear a thud into the mud and stone beneath, and you see blood just kind of like out the sides from underneath the hammer. And he goes, well, you only got 4 more on that foot, and then I got to switch feet.
I had to say that in German, I imagine.
Yeah. Well, he says that to him in English, and then he goes, that was for you.
Oh, I
I'm going to
get.
speak to him now in German.
Oh,
Einstein-Duck! So they converse in German for a bit. And basically, if you don't intervene at any point, he's going to spend the next maybe hour or two just kind of brutalizing this man. He's going to smash his toes with hammers. Once he runs out of toes, he's going to start breaking fingers.
so I think after the third toe, I think that's
So he'll smash his big toe, his like middle toe, and then he gets down to like, he's like, I'm going to go for the pinky toe next.
yeah. When he
shit
gets
hurts
to
if you stub
there,
it.
I'm gonna say, hey, can. Like I get this is a fun hobby for you, but like, can we stop? I don't feel like this is working. He's not gonna talk. You're just hurting him for fun now.
No, I'm hurting him for intel. There's a difference.
Did he give you anything?
Well, no, because I haven't heard him enough.
So you're doing it wrong and incorrectly. At that, if you're trying to get intel out of someone, not getting intel with one way, try a different way. This isn't working. Let's try a different path.
You're right. We break something more valuable.
We can. I mean, while this could be an attempt to try,
Castrated.
I think we're going the wrong direction with this. Why don't when we made him a prisoner? What was the first thing we did to him?
What do you mean?
When he was brought here, when we wanted intel, what was the first thing that we did to him?
I broke his nose.
Okay, cool. Let's try being nice. Offer him water. Offer him some food. He's probably, if beating him is not going to get an answer if it hasn't already, try the other way. Doesn't work? Go back to doing whatever the hell you're doing.
He goes, yeah, I don't know, kind of crack you're on, but I'm not doing that.
Okay.
He's like, this is he's our enemy. I don't really care to see him do better. If you want to leave, go for it.
Well, here's the thing. Like, it's okay. Actually, yeah, you're right. Have a good day. I'll talk to you soon.
So after you leave, and like maybe some hours later, Reynolds will return to the bunk and then sit down and continue reading.
Cool. I will go back and I'm gonna go just attempt to heal the man.
So as you enter, this man is in a sorry state. He has
Probably.
broken toes. There's cracks in his feet from where it looks like he just kind of hit the top of his foot with the hammer really hard. He has a couple broken fingers, missing a few teeth.
Right. Go on.
Just laughing at.
Right, yeah, I really fucked up on that part.
No,
More to heal.
you started describing it, and then all I can think of is like, and then one of his toes is elongated from where he sucked on it.
It's
Like,
just like moist. No, he's got a cracked top of his foot, like that bone you can see is splintered, and it's just blood pouring out.
cool. So let's
And, his eyes are kind of swollen. One of his eyes is swollen shut.
my first give him water, and then proceed to try to heal anything.
So you bring the canteen out, and like as you approach, he kind of shudders back.
I mean, I'll drink a little bit and be like,
his chains.
water.
Goes, oh God, thank you. And he takes it.
I do speak English.
Duh.
9.
And so he'll like almost like a man who has never seen water chug this like whole canteen. he like it's dripping down the sides of his face and all over his like clothes, and he's just kind of like, "Oh, thank you." And as he like shakily hands it back to you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Can I get you food?
Please.
Yeah. I think I brought a little bit. I brought this bread.
That backhead looks.
Oh, sorry, not this bread. This bread, the good one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And he'll kind of like cautiously look around and start eating more or less as fast as he can without choking.
Okay, cool. So while he does that, I'm going to say I am going to examine the damage. Can I do that?
Speak English. You're good.
Well, I don't know how much English you speak.
Fluid.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to try to help you. Cool.
And so make a medicine roll +2. Well, plus healer.
Ooh, that's bad. That's a crit fail. I can't re-roll that.
You're working on it. And as you're working on him, you notice the fractured bone is in bits, and you don't like that. So you kind of just squish it back together as best as you can. You never worked on a bone splint of that level. And as you do, it cracks and starts poking out through other parts of his skin. He goes, "I think you're making it worse."
All right. I'm sorry. I tried.
He goes, "Listen, they're going to kill me.
Probably.
Please let me go."
I will make you a deal because I will. If I let you go, there's a very high chance that they will also hurt me. And I'm sure as we can do this,
They don't have to know.
they'll. I have a strong inclination they'll know, given I walked directly back here, not unsuspiciously.
Okay. Then take the key. Your friend has the key.
Yeah, the guy who beat you up. Yeah. Okay. So
Go and get it, and go get it, and bring it back here. And then you leave, and then sometime later I go.
yes. Under a circumstance, I need information. I really do.
Okay.
Because otherwise, then I got naught out of this, and I will be in a lot of trouble.
Okay.
So,
What can I give?
will you give me like 10 or so minutes? I'm gonna go see what I can acquire out of information, and then I will come back. I will bring back the key, and then we'll have this conversation in full. Deal? Cool. You can have the rest of that bread and that moldy bread. I don't know why I keep carrying it around. Actually, I want that back.
It's a
Give me that.
memento for Eugene.
It's like it's just here.
It's from when Eugene left it on the sidewalk because he forgot he could walk
It
and eat
molds
bread.
quicker than normal.
Can I go talk to Phelps?
So you go to the staff sergeant's quarters. He goes, "Oh, another visitor.
Hi,
It's Corporal Radsmith. How are you?"
sir. I mean, hello. Wait, I forget. Do I address you as sir?
It's fine if you do.
Hey.
So,
I have a couple questions for you.
I have limited time. Go ahead.
Okay. We're looking for information, right? From
Always.
the German soldiers. What information are we trying to get? I think I may have a way to get some information from the.
What is your way?
Well, I gave him water. He seemed pretty actively eager to talk to me after
You're
water.
making a lie, which is a persuasion roll.
That is true. These are things that I do.
You did give him water.
Ooh, 4. Well, fuck it. Keep going.
When in doubt.
Betting
more.
out.
Roll it out. Ah, you're a bastard. I got one more. I got one more. What else am I going to use it for? The inevitable shotgun
Death.
of the infant? Fuck me, man. All right, well, yeah, I didn't pass.
He goes, "I don't. Pardon my frankness, but I don't believe you.
Okay.
We've
well,
given them water before. It's not really an effective negotiating."
okay, let me put it this way. I tried to help him. I gave him food and water, and then more specifically, he asked me to free him. I can, and he would give me information as a return. Now, obviously, can't free the man. There's lots of reasons that probably is bad. But if we just bring a fake key and leave it there, the odds are he probably won't know the difference.
He says, "Yeah,
But I do ask that we don't just shoot the man for giving us. If he finds out the key doesn't work and gives us information, and whether the information be wrong or right, at least it's information, and then he doesn't have to die for nothing."
He goes, He kind of thinks for a moment. He goes, "I don't have a fake key per se. I mean, yes, we can't release him. That's obvious.
Yeah.
If you want to try and play him for information, I'm okay with that. You'd have to talk with Reynolds to see what the key looks like because he's the one who actually handles that."
Okay, I can probably do that. I think Reynolds isn't very happy right now, and so he's kind of hard to talk to. So I mean, I probably will just disagree with the fact that I'm doing this. So I don't know how to approach that.
Ultimately,
Sir?
that's his role. So if he denies you, he denies you. I mean, I can't. I could tell him to do otherwise, but I trust him for that reason.
Right. Well,
The same way that I wouldn't have him give you medical advice.
and I get that. I think that it's important to, if we're going to get information, then this would be a good way. But I guess that's fair. I can go talk to Reynolds. Thank you, sir.
And so I'll kind of turn back
To Reynolds.
So you kind of see the whole gang is in the here. It's more like a mid-afternoon, so everyone is present, including the sergeants.
Okay.
Your sergeants. So Sergeant Sullivan, who actually leads the other half, and then your Sergeant McAllister.
Okay. Everyone, literally.
So they just like, hey,
Billy.
What are we up to? Oh, Eugene, you finally don't smell like shit.
What is that?
Oh, I'm sorry.
What?
I think you're just nose blind.
You might be right. It smells like blood. I have a small predicament, and I need all of your help. And I'm going to turn to Reynolds, and specifically your help.
Go on.
Oh, you looked down. I was confused. So,
And Reynolds is like sitting next to you, Sammy, because this should be good.
so the POW that we have, there is a chance that I might be able to get some information out of him. And so, running with the current idea that I have, he might be willing to give up some information if we leave a fake key in his cell, as if we were going to free him.
What if it was fake information?
Well, he can't get out.
But if,
Yeah, that's
if
what the fake
I
key
know,
is for.
But if he gives us fake information is worse than nothing. 'Cause
Right.
He can lead us straight into a trap and slaughter them in.
We have
Or-
counterintelligence.
And he thinks he's getting off.
First of
free.
all, how would he know that they had a trap set up for this exact scenario?
He's playing
Sec-
chess.
Second of all, no, because like if he thinks he's gonna die and his friends are going to, if someone's gonna let him go, he could give us fake information. That could be true, but honestly, he's still not getting out. So it's not like anything changed. We
I
just
mean-
got different information.
From the best point of view I can give is think of it like this: we let him go, right?
No, we're not letting him
Well,
go.
okay, in his head,
Yep.
it's like, okay, crap, they gave me a key. I gave them information that's going to get them killed. That I know would get them killed, and they're going to kill me when they see me running across the trench. They're going to shoot me. Either way, he thinks he's dead. So in his head, he's probably thinking, okay, I get out, I'm dead either way, but the people that killed me are going to die when I give them fake information that will get them killed.
And Hughes will kind of chime in and goes, yeah, but he makes a good point. How would he even know?
But that's what I'm saying.
Like, how would he know where the trap is?
But that's what I was about to get to. So say he said, okay, I have a convoy going here, right? What if he's right and wrong? What if it's a convoy full of new infantry? What if there's a convoy full of new infantry?
Well,
And there's 50
That's now we have information. Either way, if we know there's a convoy, that's information we didn't have through the other method where we got nothing. Now we have information, even if it's slightly false information. Information is still information. That's how wars are won, through information. Eugene, back me up on that one.
It's written in the textbooks.
I don't care much about them textbooks.
I can tell.
I just don't trust them Germans. I feel like
Reynolds goes, yeah, I don't really see
Well,
a
either
point.
way, they're gonna.
they're going to
If
kill
he's
us.
gonna lie to us, it doesn't matter. We have counterintelligence.
If he lies to us, we'll just kill him.
I think we're smarter than that.
I was gonna say we don't act on the immediate thing. We just take the information
Also-
and use it.
If you were given wrong information, then he knows. Then you're
That's
not gonna
what
give
I
him
would
the
do.
key.
That's what I would do. I would give them wrong information thinking I'm getting out free.
He's
Well,
Billy's
okay, and
intelligent.
Reynolds chimes in. The other problem is we don't have a key.
Well, can we forge or not forge key, but like fake a key, like make
How
the
does he
key
get out
look
there?
like
Like, you have the
one?
regular key?
I have the key, yeah, but
Has he seen?
I don't want to. I'm not. We're not letting him
Just give
out.
him a
Well,
key.
if I guess he
he
has.
knows vaguely what it looks
Yeah, I
like.
was gonna say if Reynolds keeps it on him, he probably has an idea.
So the sergeants have been notably quiet. They're just going to kind of sit and watch.
Okay.
I think. I don't know. I wouldn't trust single thing that comes out of his mouth.
Sure, but
But look, I mean,
that just sounds like prejudice.
Well, if he does give us right information and
Yes,
we
but-
faked him
see-
trying to escape, I mean, he's
see,
gonna
there's
figure
two
out
ways
the
you can do
key's
this.
not there. I don't
you can
want
do
him
the
to
key.
die.
You have your way, right? Either way, we'll get information because if your way doesn't work, he's not getting out either way. So, say he does give you fake information, right? We can starve him until he gives us information. He'll talk when he wants to eat.
We've already tried that. It hasn't been working to
Yes.
some degree or another. Now we're trying this. If it doesn't work, then he's still there. Like
He's still there, and we just starve
we
him.
didn't lose. So you support me now, right?
Like somewhat, but not fully. I'm on board, but not all the way.
Okay.
So,
All right, I got a half on board guy.
Better than what we
Hughes
got
goes,
now.
I'm on for it. And O'Connell goes, nah, whatever. Yeah,
I think it's kind of fucked, but
Reynolds is like, well, I'm not a man so proud that I can't admit that I'm outvoted. You're going to need to get something to make this fake key out of.
That's a good question.
Napoleon statue. No.
You see, in Chicago, we have this wonderful thing called
well,
scrapping cars, and there's a lot of scrap metal out on the battlefield
those
from the
guns.
artillery
I'm
shells.
not going to no man's land.
No, that's not. We had a truck that blew up. There's tons
Yeah,
of
there's some
stuff we can grab, and then we can fashion into a key.
Grab the cart truck.
Or you can just say I'll break the chain once like, you give me information.
Yeah, because I can break a chain.
You have a gun?
No, I think the more ample is to try that. I mean, I guess that's a good backup though.
Yeah, if we can't get a key, say, hey, listen, you give me information, I'll shoot the chain.
Yeah, I couldn't get the key from him. I'll break the chain. I'll break these. I didn't say
So
that.
someone, whoever, I guess you, Billy, since you're doing it, make a repair roll.
Yeah, fuck me. I'd talk myself into stupid shit.
Can I help him?
Yeah,
Can we help him?
anyone can help him that wants, that's supporting the plan.
Yay! I have a team.
Hughes is going to help you. He's like, yeah. I like
Yeah, I have more of a team.
Well, hold on a minute.
You're
You
smart,
make me.
Billy.
I can do the shooting. I have to shoot.
No,
I
we're
can shoot the
doing the
chain.
repair roll.
Yeah, the shooting's not going to. You can support with anything you want. It just has to make sense, and you have to have the skill.
I'm gonna look for weak points in the chain.
Survival to make a key? No, I don't
You-
think so.
I use survival to make traps.
I'm gonna look for weak points in the chain, and then I'm just gonna make a notes roll.
You're not
No,
breaking the
we're
chain.
making a key first.
Oh, that were?
You're making a fake
Oh,
key.
I thought you were going that.
Step
I
one,
will go
key.
with-
Step
okay.
He
two,
walks
break.
down there. He's like, I'm gonna break this
I
chain.
don't need this.
I will use common knowledge.
Of what keys look like.
No, well, because think about it, we lived on a farm. I've probably made a couple horseshoes here and there.
Oh, okay, I'll take that.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
Eugene
acceptable.
has his
I
skill
like that.
in his head. Eugene's gonna say, "I'm here for you, buddy. I think you can do it really well." And I'm using persuasion.
What's his name?
So 4.
So yeah. So between Hughes, who's just like, hey, it's not keys don't look like that, and then Sammy,
looks like a horse.
who is like, when you fold metal and the heat cools down, it changes shape, and so you guys work together to make a. On a 4, it's convincing enough. I mean,
Convincing.
he'll
You just
have an
add one
attempt to
extra
roll
tooth.
to see if you can tell that it's fake.
You have
but-
one extra tooth on the key.
Well, it actually unlocked the cuffs, though. That's the question.
If it does, there's a bullet.
Well, it looks like a fake key. The whole idea is that it's not going to unlock
Yeah,
the cuffs.
yeah.
Make it slightly
Reynolds
bigger.
goes. He goes after you.
Okay, let's do
Did
this.
you need someone to come with you, or are you supposed to go alone?
Now,
I probably
I can go with you.
relatively alone.
what's gonna happen to him after he uses information and realizes?
I mean,
the
I'll
keys
go
are
with
there?
you. I mean,
Are
I'm
guys
a-
gonna off him.
I don't know. I'll make that decision when the time comes.
I mean, I'm down to go with you. I can stand outside the room
I
just in case. Like,
No. Hey, let's let the corporals take care of this. Come on.
all right.
yeah. All right, to the bunker.
I don't think it's gonna go good.
So you
He's
guys,
so, you're negative, Nelly. Come
I'm
on,
talking
man.
to Eugene.
I know he's cuffed. Like,
I mean, yes, but
worst thing you can do is get salty.
if I know, if I know,
new term you
if
just
I
came
know,
up with?
if I know,
Sick.
Corporal
Reynolds.
Reynolds ain't gonna it's not gonna work, and then the Germans are just gonna hurt even more.
Gert eat more.
More.
That was a good word.
He's gonna get hurt.
Let's go to the
A lot
bunker.
A lot
So
of
you guys turn the
immaturity.
corner as you do see this German still chained up to the floor, and as you both enter, he immediately shrinks up because of Corporal Reynolds behind you.
So I'm gonna look at Reynolds, give him like a small wink real quickly, and be like, "Hey man, I know that you wanted me to come back here, but can you just like go like hang out outside for a minute, and then we're gonna try a different way,
He
maybe."
kind of begrudgingly rounds in the corner.
Cool. And I'm gonna look at him. I'm gonna walk over. I'm going to offer him a little
have
bit
it?
more. I'm gonna offer him water. Let me do this in order.
He ignores the water.
All right, I'm drinking the water there. Yeah, I have it, and so I'm gonna quickly flash it and then like look behind my shoulder. I'm into a mic. I'm stupid. And then I'm gonna say, but I need information. I need enemy lines. I need supply lines. Anything you can like realistically give me.
Let me see Zuki again. So he's going to try to determine if he can determine it's fake. You're only flashing it, so it's going to be like unabated. But
Oh well.
Oh my god.
he goes, okay, yeah, so supply lines.
So, yeah, anything about the supply lines?
So in order to avoid the open battlefield, they moved the supplies down through kind of a back routes that they have set up where it moves, and he's kind of like trying to whisper. He's like, it moves back through the forest
Right.
to avoid direct mortar fire, and then comes around to the back line, and they unload, and they reload and go back around the side. So it never looks like supplies are coming in. It always looks like they're going out, and shooting supplies on the way out is pointless.
Okay, that makes sense.
So the forest on the left there's a small town. I do not remember the name, but is just north. If you're facing the trench from your side, it is northwest of forward left from your trench position, and the forest is there,
Okay.
and that's where they carry some from.
Perfect.
And then it goes out to the right.
Okay. So I'm gonna say, all right. So I want you to like scoot to the side a little bit. I'm gonna slide the key under you, so it's kind of hidden, and then you know the drill.
Yeah.
After a couple hours, and I'm sliding under him.
Gonna crush his spirit.
And so he kind of winks at you. He's like, okay.
All right.
Oh man, you gotta make this is like against your morale at this point.
Is it?
I mean, he just doesn't want to hurt people.
This got twisted moral.
Yeah, but you just
He never said that he was always kind to people that try
like-
to kill him. He
I
just
mean,
said
he
that
did.
he doesn't kill people.
you don't kill people,
unnecessarily.
boy. Like this is gonna make him super
he did
depressed.
throw.
He might just kill
another guy
himself.
Throw a bomb at a
Yeah.
bunch of people.
So you come out, and Reynolds goes, "How'd that go?"
Well, I will reiterate all the things of the supply line going through, basically the outgoing supply line becoming the ingoing supply line and such, and I'll say that's the information I could get out of him, and then I put the fake key under him. So
Okay.
we're just gonna let him. I figure that one out.
Let's go tell Phelps.
To Phelps.
So you two approach Phelps, who is actually meeting with the others. And as you
Eureka.
enter, McAllister goes, "Boys, come back. Staff Sergeant's here. He's got word for us." Phelps goes, "Before that, what did you guys find?"
So in order, and I should have wrote it all down when I did it, but basically, like they're lying about the way their supply lines are off to the northwest forest. The supply lines out are supposedly the supply lines coming back, are actually coming in. That's where they're dropping everything else, so we don't actually attack any of the problems. I don't know how much of that is true, but I do know that is the.
It makes sense. I mean, convenient forest shades the supplies from being dropped. The outgoing line, we would never have any reason to target.
Right. So that's what I was able to get out of my little thing here.
Okay. Well done.
And I'll look and I'll say, and I couldn't really have done it without Reynolds' help, and I, thank him for that.
He says, "Well, noted. Well, boys, I have some good news for you now that you're all here."
Well, somewhat.
Now that you're all here, you're all gonna die.
He goes, "So everybody's here. So yeah, the whole of Delta has
Okay.
reconvened here." He goes, "So the good news is you'll be taking a nice trip outside of the trench. You'll get out of this dreary place."
Latrine?
Has PTSD from a toilet.
Yeah, it seems like the battle was less of an impact on you than the shitter.
again.
Regardless, while discussing supply lines, our supply lines are weakened. It seems as though what'd you call them when you got here? The Huns?
Yeah.
It seems as though they have had this idea that we had, and our supply lines have not shown up. We expected a truck a week ago, or several trucks, a convoy, and we have not received any of them, and there's no sign of where they went. So we're sending your team to investigate. So he takes out a map and kind of sits it in the middle of the table. He goes, "So our truck runs across this way. It's the same bus ride you took to get here. The supply convoys take several stops, one at the main camp, one at the second line, and then finally the front line. So our front line trucks have not been arriving lately. They pass through a small town named Insole, which is just kind of southwest of here. We do this because, generally speaking, the Germans won't invade a random town, and then also to get to it, they'd have to pass through both the first and second lines. So it's a relatively safe place. This also allows the trucks an opportunity to stop and get supplies that they need. Generally, it's good to run through the town like that. Normally, we wouldn't have any worry about the town in any way, but given the fact that the truck seems to have headed towards the town and then never emerged, from what our scouts indicate, is why we are sending this.
Could it just possibly stuck in town?
I don't know. That's what you're going to find out. Because I can't rule out the possibility of highwaymen or even German occupation. During the Blitzkrieg, they may have moved around the side and tried to take part of the town to cut off our supply line if they had good intel.
That's smart.
For all intents and purposes, you're going to treat this as a hostile zone. The plan of execution is that Sergeant Sullivan's team will enter from the west and Sergeant McAllister's team will enter from the east. If all is calm, then you can meet up in the middle for a nice lunch dinner, whatever time it is. And if things are not so calm, we still work our way towards the middle, but we gather as much information and try to find the whereabouts of the truck and the supplies, because we need these supplies in order to ensure that we could survive the next counterattack. Any questions?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Good. We roll out in 2 hours, so get ready.
All right.
Sorry, we roll out tomorrow morning. Mistake, he said. I read wrong watch.
Oh, I have 2 watches as well.
Yeah.
This one's my Chicago watch.
I got the ice on my wrist.
You see, it's like a tin can lid that's cut off.
It's a sundial. He goes, yeah, we roll in the morning, so be prepared.
I mean, yes, sir.
And with that, Eugene can finally make that. Anyone who's wounded can make their healing roll.
Oh, thank fucking Christ.
Help me.
Do I get to help anybody?
You can help one person.
I'll help Eugene. Because he unwillingly supported me. 6. Oh, wait, sorry. Oh, wait, no, with the healer, so 6.
6?
6.
So 6 will give you +1.
Nope.
So, much to your collective chagrin, you are heading into this mission a little where you
Subpar.
need to be.
Did my fatigue go away, though?
Fatigue will go away. And with that, you guys head out to your first actual mission that is not just responding to an assault. Thank you, everybody, for listening. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to follow us on Spotify, as I learned that the hard thing is only for songs. Leave us 5 stars on Apple Podcast. Give us a like and subscribe on YouTube to stay up to date. And remember, it's probably best to not clean the latrines.
Let's go, team!